You can have a 1000 horsepower EV and still get smoked by a family hatchback if your battery gets hot or cold at the wrong time. Here's the quiet secret that decides who wins: cooling. If you have ever fast charged twice in a day and a second session felt slower, or your launch mode pulled once and then got shy, this video is your missing puzzle piece. I'm going to show you how EV coolers keep power, speed, and range from melting away, and the one habit that fixes 80% of charging pain. Hello everyone, I'm Shayan, an engineer specialized in electric vehicle development. Batteries are a bit like athletes. They perform best in a comfy zone, usually around 20 to 40 degrees Celsius. Too cold and they're stiff. Resistance goes up and power drops. Too hot and chemistry ages faster. Think of reactions speeding up when you raise heat. Roughly every 10 centigrade can double nasty side reactions over time. Motors and inverters, they're efficient but not magic. Even at 95% efficiency, that leftover few percent turns into heat. You must move out. That's why modern EVs don't just have a radiator. They have a thermal orchestra, a chiller tied to the AC system, coolant loops for the battery and power electronics. The goal is simple: keep the battery in its happy window so you can push hard and charge fast. Here's the catch: most drivers only notice cooling when it fails them. Ever start a winter road trip and the first fast charger crawls? That's your pack saying, "I'm cold, let me warm up." Or I'll ask lithium plating. Plating is the boogeyman of fast charging in cold temperatures. Metallic lithium can form if you push too much current when cells are chilly, and that can permanently eat capacity. On the flip side, summer heat plus back-to-back pulls on track can spike the cell temperatures, and the car will protect itself by limiting power. The BMS isn't killing your fun, it's saving your battery's life. So how do coolers actually boost performance? Three ways. First, preconditioning. The car warms or cools the pack before a fast charge. So you hit the station already in the sweet spot, often around 25 to 35 degrees Celsius for high charge rates. Second, active chilling during the session. A refrigerant chiller pulls heat out of the coolant loop as the pack drinks 100 to 250 kilowatts of charging. Without it, your charge curve would spike then fall off a cliff. Third, post-cooling. After hard driving, the system keeps the pack from soaking in its own heat. So the next launch isn't kneecapped. But there is a problem most people don't see until it bites them. Thermal systems are sized with trade-offs. Big coolers weigh more. Pumps eat power, lines take place, car makers juggle cost, weight, and noise. That's why two EVs with the same battery size can feel totally different on track days or road trips. One might hold 150 kilowatts for 15 minutes, another might taper early because its chiller and plate design can't pull heat out quickly enough. Climate matters too. In very hot places, cooling fights the sun and hot asphalt all day. In very cold places, thick coolant and ice-cold cells make warning the first bus battle. Let's develop that with a real-world story you have probably lived. You roll into a station at 12% state of charge. It's 30 degrees centigrade outside. You plug in and boom, 150 kilowatts. 5 minutes later, you watch it slide to 100, then 70. What happened? As the pack fills, voltage rises, and then the chemistry naturally wants less current. At the same time heat builds, the BMS reads cells temperatures at dozens of points and says, "Alright, slow down so we don't cook the jelly inside these cells." Better cooling flattens that curve, meaning more time at higher power, less time staring at the screen. That's the difference coolers make. They keep your peak power high and your average power higher. Now the key moment. Simple habit that unlocks the whole system is route your trips so the car can precondition. Punch the charger into the car's navigation even if you know the way. That tells the thermal brain, hey, we are going to a sprint soon. Get the pack to the target temperature. Do this and the winter chargers stop being a heartbreak. And summer charges stay closer to the handling number. and your battery lasts longer. Pair that with arriving between 10 to 30% and not sitting forever at 100%, and you have basically hacked the curve. Quick takeaway you can use today is to precondition before fast charging, let the car do its warm up or cool down, and if your EV doesn't auto precondition, start the AC or a manual battery warm up. You can aim to charge in the middle zone, roughly 10 to 80% when you need speed. The edges, very low or very high state of charge, are where the taper is the strongest. If you have a track day or towing, give the car a cool down lap and don't shut it off immediately. Let pumps and fans purge heat so the next pull isn't nerfed. In heat waves, park in shade and pre-cool the cabin on the plug-in power. Less cabin load means more cooling headroom for the pack while charging. In deep winter, arrive with a warm pack, drive 15 to 20 minutes before plugging in, and warm cells equal to fast charge and less plating risk. And here's the summary in plain English. Coolers don't make the cars faster by themselves. They let the car stay fast longer. They hold the battery in the Goldilocks zone, so power doesn't fade and charging doesn't crawl. That's why some EVs feel strong all day and others feel like sprinters who need a nap after one lap. Smart thermal design is the difference between a graph that looks great on paper and a car that feels great on the road. If you want your battery to live a long, happy life and charge like a champ, grab the free PDF below. And if you're ready to go deeper, the link to my BMS course is in the description. Thank you.